All right, we are live. Welcome everybody to Spartan, Georgia Savage Race, Spring 2021. It's myself, Josh Chace, one half of Obstacle Discourse with Davis and Chace. Honored to be here with one half of the Running Public podcasts, Brakken Kraker. Brakken, how are you this morning, my friend?
Josh, I'm good. Thanks for having me. How good is it to be back on a race morning?
I'll tell you, these last couple of weeks between Savage kicking off their season a few weeks ago and races all over the country, it's exciting to be back covering races, seeing races happen. Excited to have Savage this week. Brakken, let's talk a little bit about who we can expect to see on the course today. We've got a handful of notables that are out there. Let's start with the men. Who do you have your eyes on today?
You know, I have my eyes on who didn't show up, unfortunately. I was really excited for this race. Still am. It's Florida. It's Georgia. Matt B. Davis in Georgia. Does it get any more OCR than that? But
it's like the heart of OCR.
It is. But Woods is no longer here. And Yuri Force is no longer here. And Brian Gawiski did not make the trip. So we have 3 people out, which kind of opens the floodgates for the next wave of people. Obviously, Ryan Kempson is the class of the field. And Leon is Leon. But after that, I feel like there's a crowd of people that are thinking this is my day.
Yeah, and I think this is sort of what everybody wants in this sport, right? We all have those names that we know we put at the top of our list, but then you always want that open opportunity for the next guy, right, to come in and make a name for themselves. So it should be an exciting opportunity for any number of individuals. Women's side of the field, what are you thinking on the women's?
Well, I mean, what's the story of the non-Lindsay OCR right now? It's Nicole Miracle's world. We're all just living in it, but Alex Walker might have something to say about that.
Yeah, and if we look at the course here, we've got a pretty open course for the first 3.5 miles, right? You have a couple obstacles in there, but then the race begins essentially at Sawtooth, right? What conditions are the obstacles in? With Savage being a retry obstacle race, you have no idea what could happen. Somebody could slip off. You've got morning dew to factor in on all these obstacles. So we could have lead changes and position changes all day.
Yeah, this makes for a very interesting race because being a 6-mile race, a little less, they said, right? It might even be 5.9. It's not a super long race, but it's 2 races. The people who aren't runners are just going to do everything they can do to stay in contact for the first half and then let the obstacles shine in the second half and hope that someone slips off up front. And yeah, that retry it's brutal and Savage. Other races, I've got 60 to 90 second penalty. I just have to stay in range of that. Savage, it could be a 5-second penalty or it could be 5 minutes if you blow out your grip.
And did you have a chance to look at the rig from yesterday, right? Lee put together a rig where athletes are not just standing on a platform, connecting with the first handhold. It is you're jumping to a rope for that first Savage rig hold. And then at the end, you've got a glorified lache to hit the bell. So things that we don't normally see in obstacle course racing could be a huge difference maker.
That rig might be the most deceptive rig I've ever seen because from the first hold to the last hold is a fairly standard Savage rig. But that entry and exit is such a gap that it really is going to cause issues. People are going to be very tired. It's over 60% of their way through the race at that point. And if they're coming out of any amount of wetness plus that condensation in the morning, leaping 6 or 7 feet onto a rope and then trying to lache at the end, it's just going to be sketchy.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see who, we've seen Leon complete some rigs, just throwing his body across these things. But you've got an opportunity to make up some time and take a few chances, right? That's the best thing with these rigs and obstacles that you can retry. If you are a few seconds behind the leader or a few seconds behind that podium spot, if you want to take that chance and make a leap, pun intended, then that opportunity is there for you. So it should be an exciting day on some obstacles.
Now, I tuned into the last ORM coverage of Savage Race in Florida. And something that jumped out at me was that on the rigs, the people that got into trouble were the people that lost momentum. The people that did not keep body weight moving throughout and suddenly they stalled out. And there it was kind of like you could get yourself back moving again. But if your momentum stalls on some of these today with gaps to make up, having to lache, having to leap off something in order to hit the next one, you're out of luck.
Yeah, we saw Rebecca Hammonds come into the final rig almost 25 seconds ahead, and then that difference is made up just on efficiency on these obstacles. So when we talk about obstacle course racing, right, I think that's really what we want to see is the difference going to be made on obstacles? Is it just going to be a runner's race? And while I think at the beginning of this, you've got a lot of course to cover, I think when you look at some of these obstacles that we're looking at on screen here, you've got just a lot of opportunity for individuals. So you got this beginning section where it's a lot of running, and just a couple of obstacles, but then you get into, Sawtooth, you get into Anchors Away, and we'll cut to Matt in a minute and talk about the conditions of the course. But this one should be a fun and fast, and not to count out any elevation, right? You've run this course before. Talk to us about the course conditions and the elevation.
This is a sneaky course. Mike went wild there, Josh. I ran this course as my second Savage race ever. First one I ran in Florida, raced Ken Crigliano and Yuri Force. And I messed up on on one of the Savage obstacles I'd never seen before. So I thought, I'm coming back to Georgia. I'm going to make up for it, make amends, do it right. And Yuri just ran me out of the woods. And it was a sneaky hilly course. I expected another flat running course. There are way more gain on this course than the map makes it look like. And it's not smooth running hills. A lot of the descents are kind of bushwhacky and it's soft ground. So it's really interesting to see what's going to happen, because you see 3.5 miles worth of running, but there are going to be some significant hilly sections in there. And again, it's just such a soft, muddy area that it's not super smooth.
Yeah, we see that a lot of Savage courses, right? They're not like some of the other brands where they'll throw you on a mountain and beat you up with the mountain. It's they'll put you, they'll give you some time to run, but then I look at Savage Maryland, which I was at last year. Lots of little ravines, no huge climbs, nothing more than 20 to 50 feet at the most, but just interrupting that flow of your speed, right? And Brandon says it in the chat, and by all means, guys, send in some messages if you got them. 3 miles limited obstacles to start, right, to open up the field, and then 75% of the obstacles in the last 2 miles. So it's a runner's course to start, but after that, we could see a whole host of different changes.
Yeah, and going into a race like let's say a Vermont race or a Tahoe race, you go in expecting the hills to beat you up, and so you're ready for it. Here, you might be a mile or two in and suddenly realize I'm in a hilly race and I didn't know it, but now my legs are smoked. And it sneaks up on you.
All right, let's bring our camera on the ground into the conversation. Matt B. Davis, how you doing, my friend?
Good morning, everybody. It is so awesome to be here. I've had some dunks. I'm on a Red Bull. Neither of those are sponsors of this program. Just want to let you know how jacked up I am. Are you talking about the dew? Here we go. Here's the up-close shot of it. Can we see that?
Oof.
Right?
It's going to make some differences.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's already starting to dry out. I saw Alex eyeballing it earlier. She was standing over here kind of looking. They're not allowed to practice on it. So I think this is going to be the massive game changer. I can't wait till we get here. I'm going to roll her over to the start. We're starting in 5 minutes. See you on the course.
Thanks, Matt. So we've got obstacles covered in morning dew. It doesn't look like it's very sunny, right? So the sun might not break through and kill any of that. So I think come mile 3.5, when we start seeing all these obstacles come into play, that's going to come into the game. We'll see.
Just seeing droplets of dew on that obstacle makes me nervous. Savage uses that composite material on their cheese board, on refresh me here, that big old half pipe you run up.
Oh yeah, on Colossus.
Yep. They use that composite material that gets really, really slick. Yeah, I mean, people talked about a tire at a different race a couple of weeks ago getting really slick with dew. That's how the cheese board and all those obstacles get. And their hanging nylon nunchucks that they use, those are going to get really wet. Their hoist material, that's going to get really wet. One link at a time, I believe. Is that the name of what we're going with today?
Yeah, that's we'll just run with it. That's fine.
Yeah, so all those obstacles are significantly worse when they get wet.
All right. Well, we are kicking off the pro men in just about 5 minutes here. We'll cut to Matt when that's going. We've got Sam covering it live as well. So we'll have the feed for the men and the women. We'll cover as many of the obstacles beyond that. So we don't normally do a ton of predictions, but if you had to throw out a couple names we're expected to see at the beginning of this field, Brakken, what are you thinking?
I mean, it's easy pickings, right? You got Nicole and Ryan Kempson. Now, Ryan, I think, is the scariest type or the most difficult type of athlete to race against because he's just going to go out and hurt himself from the start. And he forces everyone to make the decision. And Nicole's so fast that she forces everyone to do the same thing. Neither of them really have a big history of obstacle failures. So everyone has to kind of just accept the fact that you've got to go way outside your comfort to stay with them.
Yeah. And when you think about having kind of that open course in the first 3.5 miles as an athlete and a pro of the sport, are you there just pushing your own pace that you're comfortable with, or are you teeing off of the people that are around you? Obviously somebody's going to come out strong and fast, right? How much is that you're reacting to their speed versus you're going out at what you know you're capable of?
I mean, if anyone here is looking for podiums, they have to go out and react to everyone else. On the female side, I don't think we're going to see anyone push Nicole's pace early, but on the male side, we always see there's a few guys, whether it's James or someone or a local legend that comes out, and they are generally capable of running a little faster than the top OCR guys for the first few miles. So that wouldn't shock me if we see the men's race led by someone that's not a household name.
Yeah, and if we're looking at some of the notables, just to keep you guys up to date before we kick off here, a couple that are not on site. So Yuri Force is not here. Ryan Woods is not here. Brian Gowiski not on site. Ashley Samples was supposed to be here. It sounds like her flight was not very cooperative yesterday, so she didn't make it. So we've got some opportunity to see, a whole host of different placements on the women's podium. The men's, again, we've got Kempson, we've got we've got Leon here, obviously still over in the States. So there's a whole host of individuals. We have Chris Acuff here, Caleb Conlon. So any number of individuals could come and show up and finish on the podium. So if we take a look at the map here again, so we've got about 3.5 miles of the course is going to be open running just to get you started. The obstacle intensity kicks off right around obstacle number 13. We've got Sawtooth. You got Anchors Away early in the course there as well. And then when you look at the finish of this course, right, the finish is you got Wheel World at 25. You've got Battering Bird, right, not to be balked at all. And then you've got the finish with the big cargo net. You've got the Savage Rig right in the middle, which we saw yesterday, Matt demonstrating, just talking about a little earlier. That could come into play with all these individuals, right? Everything is wet. Everything's covered in the morning dew, and we're going to see how it all shakes out. So let's bring it over to Matt.
Can I shoot these guys real quick?
Oh, yeah.
Matty, how you doing?
What's up, fellas? Just starting to come to the start line.
Leon,
you okay?
Yeah, we got you, man. Leon's looking svelte and ready to go. We got Ryan Kempson.
Where's the zoom on this thing? There we go. Woo, woo, woo.
Y'all got stabilizers this time? There you are.
Spare no expense here, my friends.
Are you? I heard you go to the Claremont later. Is that true?
Claremont?
Yeah.
What is that?
What's up, dude?
Poor Leon. He just doesn't get Matt's jokes sometimes.
I saw a comment about that.
Oh my God! Look at that! Look at that! Look at that!
Oh, it's Scott the Fane Knowles.
So I saw Air Force Ken. He said he didn't think he was going to make it, but he made it.
Leon going with a different look today. Usually he's all compressed out with that European compression top where they have all their sponsors. But today he's going woodsy for us.
He's going
Split shorts, no shirt.
It's our elite men right here, Pro Wave. We got about 90 seconds. I hope you brought your making today. You got some hills. Notice here at the start. I'm sure you can see it.
Get to the obstacle before they do.
See the split? Everybody's going right. Go right. Don't follow the herd. If somebody
tell me, I'll
goes
switch to our
wrong,
phone like I did
go
last
up
time.
that
Okay.
hill.
I think this one will be much better, but
Wrong course.
This car, we're going to be able to focus on it.
All right.
Sam will be our start line guy. Keep Matt muted for a bit.
to go fast, but your goal is to complete every obstacle. That is not easy. So, when you approach an obstacle, get it right.
Air Force Ken getting in the zone.
As many times as you need.
He's one of those guys that doesn't get a ton of nationwide recognition, but he's as tough as anyone to have to race against.
Yeah, a lot of these guys, right? It's once you get onto the course, right? It's they're willing to hurt themselves more than just about anybody else around them. Like their ability to push, and on top of that, right? You're running at your max heart rate, and then oh, by the way, you have to go bust out Sawtooth. You have to go get up Colossus, right? These are guys that they're willing to suffer. So if you're gonna challenge them and you want that spot on the podium, you better be able to suffer just as much, if not more.
Yeah, there's some guys you race against and some females out there you race against where if you break away from them, you know you're good.
Yep.
The Savage race, there's usually no gimmies because people are closing the whole time and they all have such obstacle confidence that they just wait for you to mess up front.
So our pro men are off. They're on the course. We've got Matt with them. Let's kick over to Matt in the Gator.
Going at a hot clip.
That slight uphill start is kind of tricky.
Yeah, it's just enough to burn you out, right? And then you've got, not only do you have a little bit of rolling hills, but now you're on the side hill too, which is probably even more awkward to run through if that's not going to burn your quads up enough as it is.
Yeah, I actually like starts like this because it kind of eliminates those people who want to get out on adrenaline at the beginning. It just kind of eradicates that right from the start. Separates the race real early.
Yep. Yeah, you've got Kempson pushing it. You got Leon out at the start. So this will be one of those things where I think everybody's legs is sort of feeling it. If you weren't out getting kind of a shakeout run here, then you're not sure what you're going to start out. This is one of those things where right now you could be huffing and puffing already.
Oh yeah, this might be a race we see today where no one goes with Kempson. I hope we do see people go with him, but this might be the time where they let him go out and battle and they fight for second and third early on.
I love the downhill, hands out balance running, just sprinting it out. So these guys got a few obstacles or a few miles before they get to some of the key obstacles. Let's kick back to the women's start. They'll be kicking off here in a minute.
Yeah, I like this 5-minute only separation between the men and the women. They get everyone out on course at the same time, and it gives the female a chance to the studs on the women's side to really run the men down and have people to chase and see rather than having just nothing but daylight.
Yeah, and we saw some other races. Women's times are just getting closer and closer to the pro men's times. And, we've seen some of these women really push the pace and, beat out some of the field of all the other racers, not just the women that are around it.
All right, I'm going to go out on a limb here. I'm not making finishing predictions for places, but I'm going to say that both Alex Walker and Nicole Miracle go top 7 overall times. And I think Nicole makes the men's podium today.
That's not out of the realm of possibility. I think we've seen some scary fast times from Nicole. Alex Walker, right? I think we've talked about her a ton. 5th place Tahoe last year at the Spartan World Championships, but man, it's insane to see some of the times that we're putting up here.
Yeah, we've seen some top 10, some top 7. We've seen 4th out of a female this year, but I think this is the first major race of the year where a woman takes 3rd place overall.
To the rig first, if you can't make it across the rig, save a little, space it out, be smart. Ladies of Savage Pros, are you ready? I'll say 7. You say right. 7. 7. 7. We're winning on your mark. 7. Get out of here.
So the ladies are on course, and Nicole is putting a statement run out there already, right? She is out front with Alex Walker right behind her.
She might be the most effortless bad terrain runner I've ever seen.
She's gliding over the terrain there.
Yeah. Everyone else's stride changes slightly when they run on not smooth terrain. Nicole just keeps running really, really effortlessly, looking and smooth.
And then with
From
me
the-
at
I
6'4", it's just arms and legs everywhere on this terrain.
That's right. From this view, you can see that these aren't just gradual little hills. This is relatively steep. Again, there's no climb that's going to be longer than 30 or 45 seconds.
Yeah,
but they're steep enough that they really sap you.
Yeah, and if you're out training, right? I'm doing my runs yesterday on the trails. I'm generally picking mostly flat trails. I have to give Brakken some credit. On his podcast a couple weeks ago, said you need to start doing your workout runs and your strides at the end of the day on terrain that is going to mirror what's on the course, right? So if you've just been running on a track or you've been running on comfortable trails, you're starting to feel it, with efforts like this. So we'll kick back to Matt, see where our pro men are at.
We're waiting on the men. I'm gonna strap in here for safety.
Safety should be your number one priority, Matt.
It should have been, but I don't know if you saw that start, but I almost came right out of the vehicle.
3 points of contact at all times, Matt, is what you should.
I know, but we want to. We you know what I mean? The men are going to be coming. Here we go. Here's the first man. Oh,
I think we have Kempson coming out of the woods already.
Can you put your this one? Send your camera around. There you go. All right. What did he say?
Kempson is in the woods, out of the woods.
Gotcha. What did he say? Medical.
Did he say someone's down?
Yeah. And I don't see Leon. It could be Leon.
It sounded like he might have said Leon was down.
Well, that would be a devastating loss for Leon. It's frustrating when anyone gets hurt during a race, but to come from all the way overseas for a few races, that's a nightmare. Josh, you got eyes on who's in second here?
Red shorts. I'm not Matt. Who's in the red shorts? Do you have an idea?
I'm trying to find out in the red shorts. I lost my participant list. If next time we show them, if a fan wants to jump in and let us know, that'd be great. The injured runner might be Leon. We're not 100% sure. All right. Copy. That's Air Force Ken in 1, 2, 3, 5th. Let me know when you see your guy Caleb, so I know what he looks like. Brakken.
He's in a long sleeve black shirt.
Okay. If you see him, let me know, and then I'll be like, "That's that guy." So we got unconfirmed reports that has to be that it's got to be Leon because we haven't seen him. So
got anybody?
Lost my list, unfortunately.
Man, that's. I hope he's all right. That's devastating.
Oh boy.
There you go, Matt. There he is.
Right there over the wall?
Yep. Sitting about 10th right now.
All right. Well, then he'll do
so a top 10 position.
So, guys, let's hope Leon's okay. We'll give you an update on him as soon as we can. We're seeing the back of the women, looks like, coming through here. They got somebody going to him, right?
All right, let's kick over to Sam and see if the women are coming out of the woods yet. So we got Kempson still pushing the lead, coming up the ramp wall.
Yeah, that's pretty bad news for everybody else if he's smiling still, because he's one of those guys that redlines early and often. That means he's not totally spent. He's got something for the second half here.
They're the man over here. Should they be there, or is that somebody else? Got it.
That would look slick this morning, Josh.
Yep. I think everything is slick. There is no sunlight at all poking through those clouds. So,
and you've raced enough to know there's no worse way to try to go over a wall or an obstacle than uphill.
Right.
You have no momentum going into it whatsoever. Ken looks good over that though.
So we got Kempson 1, gentleman in the red shorts. Unfortunately, I don't have his name in front of me. We got Air Force Ken in 3rd, and then a battle for 4th and 5th right around him.
I wonder if that's Jared up in 2nd, the guy who took 4th here in the fall.
So women still haven't come out of the woods yet, so we're waiting on them. Maddie, do you have any update on Leon at all?
We do not. Medical just got over there. We got Kempson coming out of the woods down here. So we got Kempson in the lead. You can count the seconds if you want. He is flying. Ooh, we've never been through this before, have we? Correct. This is brand new part of the course. Lee just informed me, and from my many Savage experiences, this is your leader right here. I don't know if you're on me anymore. Looks like you're not.
No, we're still on you. Not the not the most forgiving terrain we've got here.
And this is what I'm talking about, where you don't expect Georgia to really be a suck fest of a course, but those little 30, 40, 50 meter hills are doubled and tripled when you're going through ankle and shin deep brush.
Yeah, when I think about, right, Leon takes a wrong step there. Let's hope that maybe just twisted an ankle or got a little stinger coming through some of this junk.
Yeah, an ankle is probably best case scenario here. You can get back to training relatively soon, but man, that's a frustrating way to start out a race. He couldn't have been more than 4 minutes into the race when it happened too.
Yeah. All right, let's see what Sam has for us. So we still got the men coming up.
Guys, Jared Flank is in second. That's Jared Flank, who I had on the ones to watch list.
Okay.
Jared Flank.
Thank you, sir.
He's finished, I believe, fourth here a couple times, maybe third in a couple races.
Yep.
No Zoich, I just realized as well. No Jay-Z here, correct?
Correct.
That is the platform of Davy Jones' locker. Is that what that is? That's not in use? Yep. So no Davy Jones locker, which is an obstacle that you'll see at most Savage courses because they build it permanently.
Is that a COVID thing this year?
Yeah, no Davy Jones locker, no Shriveled Richard, which is the ice bath.
Yeah. Which is really going to be helpful, but this is not. Barbed wire crawl through muddy water. That doesn't bode well for future obstacles. Well, this guy's quick, though. Jared knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
If you can get that gallop crawl going, you cut off 10, 15 seconds right there.
Plus, it's a little easier too when you don't have to worry about the barbed wire tearing up your back, right? You just get the metal wire.
I gotta say that's something I really appreciate about Savage. I don't think there's any need for barbs on the wire.
I think I'm at a point, right after those first few races, the novelty of barbed wire wore off pretty quickly.
Yeah. Yeah. So this is the terrain right here. I mean, it's beautiful to run on, but you can't see half of what you're stepping on.
Yeah. Yeah, when they go down, especially, right, you're running downhill. Once you bottom out there, not only are you
can lose me.
Not only are you like bottoming out yourself, but all your gravity going towards the ground there. You're going to start feeling things.
Right. Yeah, half of those down trees hide underneath the leaves that are down and any of the other brush that's down, and you don't see it. And as you can see with these guys, the people that separate, they have to run those downs aggressively. And aggressive downhills lead to, if you happen to step on something, you're in trouble.
Yep. See if we can bring in Lee's over at the Savage rig, which the guys should be getting to shortly. So they kicked off just about 15 minutes ago. And the Savage rig does not look any drier or more welcoming than when we started today.
So you see this gap here. I mean, that's at least 5 feet that you have to jump to a wet nylon rope. And then that blue cheese board there is real slick.
Yeah, and there's no grip between the rope and the cheese board. So not only do you have to jump to that rope, but you've got to maintain enough momentum to carry yourself to that cheese board. Then you've got just these fabric holds before you get to a horizontal bar.
Yeah. Have you lashayed ever in a race?
I have. I actually I've done it at Twister, right? Because Twister rips your hands apart. So I've just skipped that last section, and it's worked 50% of the time.
Have you done it with standing water on the pipe?
No. I generally will only do it when I'm holding something that I feel like I've got solid grip on.
Yeah, it's real sketchy. I wonder if some people are going to have to use a alternating hand grip on that and try to lashay that way, which obviously isn't as good of a launch angle. So I'm excited to see people get to this. We're going to see some problems here.
They're talking. They're doing their thing.
Maddie, any update on where the men are at on the course?
We're going to see him, we heard, in less than 60 seconds if you want to keep it on me. Or if you want to do a quick sponsor shout out, perhaps, while we're waiting.
Yeah, absolutely.
Do we have a chase car coming on those women?
Yes.
Good.
Yeah, so while we wait for some updates, a couple sponsor notes here. Savage is brought to you by a handful of sponsors, but three of the ones we want to call out here. Salming Shoes, the official shoe of Savage Race. # no nonsense shoes from Salming. Also brought to you by the U.S. Army. For more information about the Army and a chance to win a free ticket to Savage Race's Georgia Fall event, text the word RACE to GO Army. That's 462-769. And all finishers, once they cross the Savage finish line, are presented with some Protein 2.0 water. All benefits, no barriers. Protein 2.0. So we got Kenton coming out of the woods.
Kempson's get his telltale head bob going when he's really suffering. His head looks pretty stable right now.
He just acknowledged us, though, so he's not breathing too hard. He was like, hey, guys.
No, I'm saying he doesn't have his telltale head bob going, which he gets when he's trashed. So the second half looks like Kempson's still going to be able to attack. But Jared hung pretty well through 2 miles. I mean, he had Kempson in sight still going through the 2 mile mark, that's an accomplishment in itself.
Yeah.
Oh, nut smasher.
Tamara Dayhill, quick update. We don't have any specific details on Leon. It sounds like he went down early in the course. We'll keep you up to date when we find out more. Just no big deal, Kempson, just running across the balance beams.
Josh, no matter how many times you successfully complete that balance beam, it's really hard to feel confident on it until you get about two-thirds of the way through.
Yeah, and it's aptly named Nut Smasher, right? You take one wrong step, and you're going to be woken up pretty handily here.
Yeah, and it's one thing to do that in a controlled condition, but with all the mud and water on your feet, it gets real slick up there. So this is another one he's going to come up to where you're just not going to have a whole lot of momentum for either one of these obstacles. First grip of the day, though.
About here.
Yeah, so this is anchors away, and Kempson's height on this one definitely helps him out. If he's got the grip, he usually will try and skip some of these, just like that.
He's making it look pretty smooth, but that's not an easy obstacle.
That is not an easy obstacle at all, and for anybody that hasn't done that, right, it's much more different than rings. You're letting rings go as you're swinging through a normal rig with just rings, but you're taking the rings with you on this one.
Yeah.
All right, so that gap's increased significantly in the last 5 minutes.
Right now, are they going to eventually get back on the women? Can you ask Sam?
They might be having trouble catching, keeping up with them.
Okay. So, fellas, as you can see behind me is Colossus, and many times at this venue, it's the last thing you do, and the finish line is right there, but not today. So they're going to be wet, and then they're going to go do that rig everyone's been talking about.
Oh, I like that. That's a good setup.
Me too. Here we got Jared Flank. So if you're keeping track, what do you think that is? A minute?
That's 40 seconds right now, 45. But it was only about 15 at mile 2, so he's starting to bleed time here.
And you just think about, right, you make up time on your running, but you truly can make up time on your obstacles too, right? The obstacle proficiency we saw from Kempson takes him through this thing in seconds. Not to say Jared didn't get through it quickly, but just that difference can make up a ton of time.
Yeah, if you're banking on Kempson slowing up on something, you're kind of out of luck because Kempson probably took another 5 seconds.
We got third place right here. We got third place right behind me. Third and fourth.
So the battle for third and fourth.
What's your last name, sir?
Wow, Ken with a restart. Josh, I was just about to say that you don't want to be in a battle with Ken because he's done all these so many times that he's not going to screw up, and right away he restarted the obstacle.
Well, he wasn't letting that one stop him much. That was an angry finish to that.
That was. Ken's a fiery guy, and him having to restart an obstacle that he's done before, he's not going to be super thrilled about. But looks like he actually didn't give away any time because Mr. Johnson here was having a rough go of it.
You say Johnson or Thompson?
I thought it was Johnson, but maybe it's Thompson.
Nick Kraker in the chat telling us Kevin Thompson.
Kevin. Looks like it's not Kevin Johnson.
Kevin Thompson also had a restart of the.
Are you gonna find the women, or you guys gonna find the women?
Oh, we did. It's just
Kevin Johnson, all-time underrated defensive guard.
Okay. This is 5th right here, or 6th. You guys with me?
Yeah, we're with you, man. That's what that obstacle does, right? You think it's just as easy as swinging through rings, and that having to pull your ring off of that hold and take it with you, it's deceptively difficult. And what he just did there, hanging his ring on the front. If you haven't done this obstacle, that is key to taking that ring from one to another. Much easier getting it off the front part of that hold than the back part.
We talked early on about momentum and having a strategy coming in, and this is, I mean, you don't want to kick a guy while he's down, but this kind of exemplifies exactly why if you lose momentum, you're done for.
Yep.
Kempson, you saw Kempson, Crigliano, they had their plan coming in. They knew what momentum they needed, what reach they were taking, and learning on the fly is a quick way to blow your grip out.
Yeah. Hey Sam, do you have any eyes on the women and how far away they are from where you are?
Yeah, so we just saw Nicole Miracle go through the low crawl, the mud and guts, and then Danielle Walker was maybe 40 seconds behind her. They're down in the woods where we can't go right now, so we're kind of sitting up here near base camp waiting for them to come out so we can see what happened down there.
All right, perfect. Thanks, man. So we got the women probably have a little over a mile and change before they get into Anchors Away. So we're gonna stay close by. Let's kick over to Matt and see where he is.
Lean. Usually those guys have it easy. Yeah.
And that really shows, right? That third place athlete came in with almost a minute on 4th and 5th, and now he's about to lose a spot.
Got it. Yeah,
Matt,
that's
are you
fine.
guys heading over to the Savage rig?
Yeah, and we're going to be, once we hit that, we're going to be able to stay in front of these guys for a good portion of the race, so you guys can stay with us for a while. We're about to hit a section where there's going to be a ton of obstacles in a row. I'm re-strapped in.
That's good, man. We don't want to lose you. Can't have that.
Nicole Miracle here is approaching Anchors Away.
So she's already top 10, man.
Yeah, she's what? Probably 5th or 6th at this point?
I think 6th or 7th just went through. Yeah, she's probably 7th or 8th with a 5-minute deficit that she started behind. So watching her, she should have a pretty good technique here. She knows how to start in front already.
Yep.
Wonder if she's going to try to go for the skip right off the bat. Looks like it. Maybe not. Oh, a chicken wing and a spin, Josh.
I'm blown away by this. It's a combination of technique, right? It's security with the chicken wing and then still maintaining the momentum and pulling 360s in the middle of the obstacle.
Yeah, that spatial awareness is not super easy to spin. Now, she's spinning blind, too. She's not spinning with her body towards the next one. She's turning her back on it and still managing to latch it.
And for those of you that watch things like snowboarding and skiing, when you see somebody spin on one of those, you're like, well, he's just spinning the other direction. It's not that hard. Well, it's a little different when you quite literally can't see what's behind you.
Man, so that looked really simple and like she maybe lost a little bit of time, but that might have been one of the more impressive techniques I've ever seen in my life.
A good place to wait for 2 and 3 because they do
Be
a limit in there,
added
so they
difficulty.
All right, guys, we're going to wait here for number 2 and number 3 because, again, they're going back into the woods where we can't really track them. So probably I'm expecting Alexander Walker to come up across Nut Smasher soon.
Perfect. We'll keep your audio on, Sam. Just yell as somebody gets there. We've got Kempson coming up to Sawtooth as we speak.
Sawtooth looks a little different this year, huh?
Hey, Brakken. I feel like we just watched the equivalent of like the Fosbury flop for the first time.
that was an interesting technique. Have you ever seen that before?
No.
Now we've seen chicken wing before, but we've never seen a chicken wing with a blind 180 in the middle.
That was like a Tony Hawk pro skater move. 360 chicken wing anchors away.
Okay, I see Alex Walker. Alex Walker's in second place. She just went across Nut Smasher, and she's running towards me here at anchors away. She'll be approaching this obstacle momentarily.
All right, so we got Alex Walker in second for the girls.
She's a minute
Nicole
plus down now. Nicole's just on another planet this year.
Yeah, she's dialed in, and it's like when you think about all this time individuals had to put into their training,
I was wrong.
on top of just the
Before we
running
get
and everything else, she's also doing ice climbing and rock climbing and all this other complementary stuff to make sure she's at the top of her game, which clearly she is.
She really is, and Alex Walker is an absolute animal. She's a top 5 in the U.S. hands down type person. And she's running hard and competing well. She has a massive gap on third place, but it shows how otherworldly Nicole is this year. Look at this. This guy's still here. He came in third place to this obstacle.
Third place, and that's what obstacle retries will do to you. It might not be his grip. He could just be inside his own head at this point.
Well, now if you've tried it 15 times in a row, you have no option but to just rest.
Yeah. Alex doing some mid-obstacle hand changes, switching positions.
We have third place, Christy McFarland coming up behind her.
So Alex misses that obstacle. She's going to go back and retry.
For second place.
We got Chrissy McFarland coming up on third.
And Alex had this happen in San Antonio last week too, where she had an obstacle trip her up and it cost her a win.
So we got Kempson kicking back into the woods.
Hey, I was incorrect. I said they were going to do Colossus first before the rig there. I was incorrect.
So it's definitely clear that these rings are not dry by any means. If you know Alex, you know that she's a rock climber, that she has these grips. So when you see her struggle with something like that, and Chrissy too.
Did you see what just happened with Chrissy?
Yep, she went down
She
as
got
well.
to one that was slightly higher, and it was turned
Hey,
sideways.
make sure we have clear lanes for the ladies, that no guys are getting in front of these two. Will you do that?
Alex is going to
These two,
chicken
third,
wing now,
second,
which
third.
she will get through based off this.
Yeah.
It'll be slow, but she's locked all the way up to her armpit on that.
Hey, will you make sure that no guys are getting in the way of the girls, the two girls? Thanks.
Alex strikes me as the kind of person that would sacrifice just about any part of herself in order to complete some of these obstacles, and this is a pretty good example of it.
Yeah, she's going to be furious with herself after
Nice job, nice job.
Because she's a grip strength,
Yep.
I don't know, connoisseur almost.
So Chrissy going to the elbow chicken wing, where Alex had her entire arm through the ring.
The elbow gives you that wingspan a little bit, but the armpit actually hurts less.
So the battle is now for third. We've got that's Meg Julian from the Northeast, who's now on anchors away.
And we had fifth place coming up too in the background. So we have a pack still.
So we got Kempson over at.
Should we hang here for a little bit? You think? Yeah. I think
This is a cool obstacle. Josh, you ever bench or squat with chains on the bar?
I can't say that I'm very big
She's
on
gonna come back.
the bench press as it is, let alone adding chains to my bench press.
Well, we did it a lot in college. It's interesting because every link you get off the ground increases weight on the bar. So same kind of principle there. You start pulling, it feels relatively manageable, but every single pull you get, not only do you get more tired, but the chain gets heavier.
Yeah,
I like that concept.
Deceptively difficult, right? Those little things, you don't think just lifting a chain can be something that's difficult, but they've added that little extra layer of difficulty to it. So we got a battle for third, fourth, and fifth for the women at anchors away. We got Kempson in the lead, just having a conversation clearly. Kempson, how you feeling today?
Josh Chace asked how you're feeling. He's saying hot, although it's quite cool.
He's from the Northeast, though. This is probably 30 degrees warmer than what he left.
Right. Kempson was up on looked like Franconia Ridge or up in the White Mountains, and it was pouring. He got stuck under a rock, just hanging out in the rain, waiting for it to pass. And
hailing too, yeah.
Yep.
Not your ideal pre-race shakeout.
So that was Holy Roller.
Oh, that's an obstacle that kind of burns your hip flexors and quads a little bit, but that's a full 40 seconds of just easy breathing.
Kempson's
Here comes
just
Nicole Miracle up out of the woods.
So we got Nicole coming up over the ramp walls. Sam, do you have is it Sawtooth after that?
After that, we're going to go to Scornhole.
Oh, right.
I believe Sawtooth's a hard right after that. Yes, we're going to see her do all three of these obstacles right here. Nice.
I love Scornhole because you can celebrate for a second when you throw that weighted ball up there, but then you have to immediately get out of the way because that thing can come down and wreck you.
I'm amazed that obstacle was allowed to be in there.
Excuse me, guys.
I was actually at the Chicago. I mean, they call it Chicago. It is practically Wisconsin. The Chicago Savage Race.
Yep.
Where they started testing it. They had it in the festival grounds. And so many people had that roll into their ankles and wreck them. We all walked away thinking, well, that'll never get cleared. And the very next race, they had it out there on course.
So Nicole threw Sawtooth without too much of an issue. A couple grips that she sort of re-secured there as she was going through it.
Yeah, Sawtooth looks like it has really skinny bars right now.
Yeah, that metal version of Sawtooth, definitely, thinner bars, not quite as grippy. They're definitely painted and a little more smooth. So that's always the uniqueness about Savage. You'll get a different version of the obstacle wherever you go.
When it's wet, give me the skinniest possible grip.
Right. I'm the same way. So Maddie's still with Kempson, plugging on through the woods here.
These steep little kickers just sap you.
Oh, so we got going through some. Kempson's already been through the Savage rig here, so we got the men on
These
the
two
Savage
guys
rig.
are moving up. Here we go, first lache of the day. Now in the background in the majestic American flag shorts, that's Carl Fallish. He's a guy that I've had the pleasure of working with this past year, and he's an obstacle
Carl's
guy.
in the Discord, isn't he? Isn't it Carl in the Discord?
Carl is in the Discord, so we got Carl had a miss on his lache.
Now look at this. This start here. This stepped over. Okay, I thought we were about to witness some cheating, but luckily he went back. Looks like Carl made it through. Good job, Carl.
That's right.
Making me proud. Carl's moving up, and he might be top 5 by now at this point. Oh,
So Nicole threw, and she had to reach for that, and you could tell the grip was an issue there because she had to keep her elbows at 90% or 90 degrees there. So
yeah. All right, now we're in trouble.
There.
you got to kick those feet out. That's
Now-
easy for me to say from the broadcast booth.
Oh,
There we
look
go.
at that.
Sacrifice
Selling
the
out
body.
for the bell. I like it. Josh, in a situation like this, you can't use the top truss to get through, but could you muscle up to the top of the bar and jump from the top of the bar to hit the bell?
I have to imagine there's somewhere in the rules that says you can't go over the bar in order to complete that obstacle.
Okay.
But I like where your head's at. Always thinking.
Gotta be. Get the old noodle working.
So we got some men coming out of the woods. We got Kempson. Maddie, what's the name of this obstacle?
Squeeze play.
Squeeze play.
That is one of my least favorite Savage obstacles.
Brakken, you were at the first OCR World Championships in Ohio, right?
Yes, sir.
Do you remember right towards the end of the course, they put us through this little muddy terrain, and they had a tire, kind of a realm of tires that you had to smash yourself under and pretty much just put your entire face into the mud and the grossness?
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't appreciate that as racers, but
No, you feel like you're drowning. It's an incredibly simple obstacle, but it just forces all the air out of you every time you do it. And it's just, from 3.5, 4 miles into a race, that's a brutal feeling.
Yep. So we got Kempson coming towards the finish. Squeeze plays obstacle number 21 of 27. So he'll be coming up to barn doors, he already did pedal for the medal. But we got a couple to the finish, right? You got Wheel World in there. You got Battering Bird, which is no joke as well.
There's Jared in second right here.
So Jared's in second. We got some men still.
Getting some slow-mo shots. Theme of the day seems to be you need unique shorts to do well.
Yes. The outfit is key. Whew. And it doesn't, when you look at it on camera, it doesn't seem like it's that far, but when you're hanging from that bar, that thing might as well be 50 feet away.
Yeah. Now, every person that goes through, though, makes it easier for the next one. They're all knocking the dew off of there.
Yep.
We
Some
have
obstacles
Alex
get
Walker
worse
coming up
as the
out of
day
the
goes,
woods.
but not this one.
Yeah.
Approaching obstacle number 12 and onto Scorn Hole and Sawtooth.
So Alex Walker coming out of the woods, and we'll have Sawtooth, so we'll stick with her for a minute.
Josh, I'm going to update my prediction. I'm going to say that Nicole has the second fastest time on the course today.
Second fastest.
Yeah, I think she's going to firmly cement herself on the podium for the men.
Well, I don't think anybody would end up being surprised by that one, not with the way she came out of the hole there to begin with, and the way she's just gutting through obstacles, even when grip is an issue.
Man, Alex is strong. Do you see how quick she got over that?
Yep.
Nicole does her foot over, kind of pull herself up with her heel, and Alex just powerhouse through that thing.
Hey, gentlemen, can you hear me?
Yeah, we got you, Matt.
So as Ken got into squeeze play, he could see Karen just tucking into the woods. And if he can still see him, that means he wants to catch him.
Air Force Ken doesn't strike me as somebody that just takes his foot off the gas at any point.
No, I've had 3 different Savage races where he's hunting me in the last half mile. And he just doesn't have anything other than the on switch. Josh Chace, what was your first experience like at that teeter tuber?
I was, I just wasn't a fan. Is what what it comes down to. So
because you're taller than me by 3.5 inches.
Yeah, it's height sometimes can be your best friend or your worst enemy when it comes to those things. So
did you get stuck?
It took me an extra second or two. So we get Alex Walker through Sawtooth. She definitely took a second. Ring out the arms, just clear the grip for a second.
Hey, can you hear me, guys?
Yeah, we got you, Matt.
Guys, right behind me is the big wall of cheese. What do we call this obstacle?
Big cheese.
Big cheese. It's my brutal obstacle. Sorry, I had to do my Steve Hammond impression.
So Big Cheese is obstacle 22, and then we guys running through the woods.
You guys didn't appreciate that, Steve Hammond?
Third place here.
We did appreciate it. Yes, it was okay.
You didn't see it. You didn't say amazing or incredible.
There goes Jared. He's incredible in the red shorts.
You're bleeding over into a Dave Watson there, too. So we got Meg Julian. Sam, is that Meg in third place at Scorn Hole?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Oh, she moved up well.
Yeah, so Meg Julian with Team Noob Sanity. She's an obstacle freak, too. So, I think when it comes to things like Anchors Away, where some of the others might have struggled, she can definitely make up some time there.
The hills on this course show up in watching how these top people are starting to approach obstacles. Very rarely do you see the pro wave start walking to obstacles from 20 feet away.
Yeah.
You saw Alex walk off of an obstacle and she walked in from, again, 20, 30 feet. That's just not something you usually see.
She's going side to side. You know what I love about this sport is people find the most unique ways to gain even the smallest advantage. Did you notice that she tried to dry her hand off on the tennis balls that were used to protect the pipe there?
Yeah. Now this is tough. Wet pipes having to reach up and out.
Yep. And those pipes in the middle, too, are much thicker. Those are probably like 2-inch diameter pipes as opposed to the monkey bar pipes are much smaller. So Meg is through securely, still in third place. And we got fourth place, not far behind her.
Is this Brenna?
Yes.
You all right, Ken?
Calvert here in 4.
Guys,
Brenna
we got
Calvert,
we got Ken gimping a little bit here, guys.
Ken might have taken a little misstep. Matt, any update on Leon at all?
Not yet. I'm going to go ahead and say we'll know at the end of the race.
Yep.
If this is Brenna in 4th, she's not out of a podium spot at this point.
No, that's a fight.
What do we call this obstacle?
So we got 2 girls side by side for
Jessica Shepard on the left here. She's been on the podiums before. In fact, I think she was 3rd in the past year at this course. And she's another one of those obstacle specialists. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't think specialist is fair to say to her. She can run as well, but she's
ready because the rig is on the
she's
other
known
side
for
and
not
Alex has
failing
her back
things.
up.
Let's go.
Brakken. Talk to me about the mindset when you're side by side with somebody coming into an obstacle like this, something that will challenge you, and they take that first step when maybe you're not 100% ready for it.
It's kind of like running the hurdles in track. As soon as you see someone get ahead of someone, the person right behind them starts losing their rhythm. It's really tough to stay out of
All right, we're gonna move
their
ahead,
lane
guys.
with your eyes. You know, you start trying to match their technique or their momentum, and you're all out of sorts. So,
Yep.
Going onto an obstacle right next to someone is sometimes the absolute worst.
So we got
waiting
Maddie
here
waiting for them
pop
to come out of the woods. The terrain there looks to be a tad bit muddy, Matt.
Well, what do we call this section, Lee?
This is the mud swamp.
This is the mud swamp.
It's appropriately named.
Right.
Matt, what did they come out of onto that?
What's the next obstacle we got next?
Lumberjack Lane.
We got Lumberjack Lane into
Barn doors.
barn doors, and then
That's our finishing sequence after that.
and then we got the finishing sequence after that.
They're
So
on
Alex is already on the retry lane
Where'd
on
they
this
go after
obstacle.
Down, back up into the woods a little bit, and then we'll catch them on the other side.
And look at this. 3rd and 4th place have now caught
All
up
right,
to
let's go.
Alex.
So we can go somewhere else.
Looks like Brenna Calvert's
How you
going to
doing,
be the first person to try this next one. She
Good.
could move into 2nd place here.
So those cheese boards are definitely unforgiving. As much as, those seem like just simple handholds, there's not a lot of material there. And if you're not noticing, they flex pretty handily. Those things they'll bend into a U on you pretty quickly.
It will. And this is another one where the female field really gets punished because their frame is just not going to be as long as most of the men's field. Yet they have the same exact reach, from obstacle to obstacle, from grip to grip that the men have to deal with. And we're going to see a backlog of women at this obstacle.
So we have 4 women on this obstacle right now, and whoever gets through it first will take 2nd place at this point.
Yeah.
Well, not take it for the race, but we'll come out of this obstacle in 2nd place.
I mean, Josh, look at Jessie Shepard there. She had to jump farther than her entire body length just to hit the rope, whereas you could have leaned forward and grabbed the rope.
And then you just see, right, that you're bending your arms to pull yourself up to get those grips. And by the way, you're just exhausting yourself further when you do that. So we have 3 women on the rig.
I like that she's going sideways across that cheese board, though.
Yeah, so she's got to the horizontal bar. So she's got some distance, though.
What's she trying to find?
A map.
She's going to
Go
get
to,
it. Oh,
go to savagerace.info.
did you see what happened there?
And there's a link to the
Yeah.
She got 3
savagerace.info.
good swings, and on the 4th, her hand slipped before she even got to release. That's a heartbreak.
They're gonna rig, come out, S-curve, losses next. I'll get a back up.
Okay, we'll wait at Colossus. I'm just gonna get out.
We have a 5-way battle for 2nd place.
We should be able to follow them.
That's a
Okay.
good swing.
They're a good portion of it.
She's through.
Wow. realistically, if someone doesn't get one right here, this is going to be a minute or two lead all of a sudden.
Yep.
For the female side with such big reaches from grip to grip, every single attempt you have, I mean, you're just building yourself a grip deficit.
And it's one of those things too where you can't force your grip, right? You've got to wait it out. You've got to be patient with it because you have a finite amount of strength in your hands. And once you get to that point where you're exhausted, there is no sort of just recovering from it.
No, and it doesn't bode well for the next grip obstacle too.
Right.
You know, we talk pay now or pay later a lot. This is one where you almost have to pay now with your time. Take a minute initially rather than 5 quick tries and then lose 20 minutes. Josh, you have the bands over burpees crowd and the burpees over bands crowd both fired up right now.
Yeah, and I mean, you know, when you think about these races that have mandatory obstacle completion, it's when you think about the race directors and what they have to think of with these obstacles, like how much do we want to essentially, you know, build a failure rate of these obstacles, and how much do we want the battle to come down to a single obstacle? Well, I think you both do and you don't.
Hey.
Yeah.
Rachel, they're still back there. You pressed it.
I mean, you look at this and you'd say, this is why you have to have mandatory obstacle completion, because it demands that the obstacles are as important as the running.
Hey.
And yet the other side would say the exact
Rachel
thing.
just
Like,
came out, but I think she
this is
wasn't
why
in
we
first.
don't want obstacle
Was this?
mandatory completion, because suddenly it's not a race anymore. Now it's just survival and the rhythm's all broken up. So both sides are all fired up and they feel justified because of an obstacle like this right here.
Coming up though?
And that's
And
fine, right?
Rachel
It's
maybe got
I
lost.
think there's space in this industry for both types of these races. I don't think we need a single sort of type of experience with the races. So I think each one builds excitement and storylines, right? We're going to talk about this.
Oh, that's why you know what you're getting into with each race. Like you go to a different race and you know that running matters the most, and you come here and you know that it doesn't matter what you do in between, because one obstacle can totally screw it up.
Right.
And yet you see a Nicole, and as soon as you're bulletproof on obstacles, now the running matters as much as anything.
So we got Kempson coming up to Wheel World, which is one of the final obstacles. So he's got Wheel World, then he's got Battering Bird, and then he's at the finish line. So we're going to stick with Kempson for a minute.
Uh-oh. Pick the wrong side.
You think she went off course?
I've never seen him struggle on this one.
He cut off mileage.
Oh!
Decided to kick and then bailed out mid kick and just hit it with his hands.
That was a good save. Gosh, that doesn't look like much of a move, but that's a tough move to salvage when you've already committed defeat.
When you've got to change directions and manipulate body parts while you're holding on to an obstacle after a race like this, it's not by any means an easy process. And Battering Bird is not an easy obstacle either. So
no, coming off of several grip obstacles in a row, this is another one where that line that's forming on the female side,
yep,
is really going to come back to haunt them who are overdoing it right now and trying too many times in a row.
Kempson making it look easy, and Battering Bird was actually backwards from what it normally is. It's normally that horizontal pipe that you have to shimmy along into.
Just ask him
those mop grips, but
which would you prefer?
I'd prefer the other way around, to be honest. I think if I get to that horizontal pipe after finally getting through all those hanging mops, the chance that I have the wherewithal to pull myself through that is slim to none. But we'll see.
I don't want to speak too soon because there's still an obstacle left, but Kempson has pretty much been unchallenged today.
He's doing the old Hobie wave coming towards the finish line, right?
Yeah. Josh, the first race I ever ran, Hobie was at, and we had heard that he was the legend, and no one had been within minutes of him in a race. And I got down there like, you were only a minute and a half behind him. No one's ever been that close. And I left thinking, man, I'm going to be the next big thing. And then I walked to the finish line, and my wife's like, yeah, he was stopping on course to take pictures with people and chat. And I was all right. This guy beat me by 8 minutes, but he was signing autographs and taking pictures on course.
Sounds like Hobie. So we got Kempson finishing first for the men.
So did
Let's kick over to
okay.
Colossus, where
You're not on the camera right now. What was that? Hey, you want to talk to Kempson real quick, guys?
yeah, we got a second.
Kempson, you were just cheered on. I don't think I've ever heard anybody get cheered. You did that flip. It was amazing.
Southern Jordan babes love me.
Why? Why do you think that is?
Look at me. The white ghost.
That sounded like men. I'm not convinced those were ladies.
I'm telling you, they were girls right there. It was very impressive. It was like the Beatles
She's already
came over
been
to the top of the wall there. So you said you were hot.
I'm really hot right now. Yeah, it's just humid, I guess. No? There's so many hills out there. This is a sweet course. It reminds me of stuff up in the Northeast. Super steep and steep, straight up, straight down, not gradual. This would be a fun like champion style course. It would be a blast to battle on.
You just waved to Nicole. Brakken is predicting she's gonna have the second fastest time today.
She might beat me if she was running real fast. I don't know. She's moving quick.
So we got looks like
So
Chrissy
Leon
in
got
third.
What's that?
Leon got hurt.
Yeah, we're trying to get an update
I
on.
came down. I just heard this like.
So we got Chrissy through. The Savage rig is still beating people up.
Oh, we still have the same crew here. This is tough to watch.
Yeah. Alex Walker definitely she's taking the conservative approach in terms of like how many attempts she wants to take. She's definitely taking that extra time, wringing her arms out.
Man, we got
These are all easy.
we got second.
Oh, at the rig, not at
Right.
the point of the anchors.
No, we got some people did struggle at anchors. We got Jared coming through. Sorry, is it Jared?
Jared, I think.
So Jared hangs on to second place.
Hey, nice job, man.
Thank you.
Do you ever think you could catch this guy?
After a mile now.
Dropped us, and I saw him like not breathing heavy. He was cheering me on. Like, thanks.
That's what I get in your head. Though.
Hey.
It was too Texas. As soon as we hit the woods.
Can you guys hear everything okay, by the way?
Yeah, we can hear you fine, man.
Awesome. Hey, gentlemen, quick question. I was trying to watch. Is Chrissy and Alex still on that obstacle? What's going on with second and third place?
Yeah, Alex is still on the Savage rig, and a couple of the other girls are still there as well. And I think Christy is through.
So do we have a second and third place?
I think second and third are both through, and then fourth through
I'm going to need
ninth
you
or
though.
10th.
Can
They're
you
sitting
wait
there.
right here for a little bit.
We'll kick over to Sam and see what we can find. Sam, do you have an update on second and third place women? Sam's on mute at the moment, but he might hear us.
Hey guys, I got a little disoriented as to who is in the lead, but I'm right now I'm with Chrissy, who just came off of we just came off of this obstacle here.
So if I'm not mistaken, Chrissy's in third.
Okay.
Rachel Waters was ahead of her.
Did I hear Rachel's in third?
Rachel's
like Rachel
either in
might be in
second or
second.
third. There might be one more in there. We missed a few come through that obstacle.
So
At
Air
worst,
Force-
Chrissy's in fourth.
So Air Force Ken is no longer in third. He was gimpy when we saw him last. He stepped in something funny. So now we have Johnson coming in third place.
I think you mean Thompson.
Johnson or Thompson?
Thompson.
What's his name, guys?
No one knows.
Don't cancel us. Don't cancel us for not knowing his name, please.
It's hyphenated. It's Johnson
Please don't-
Thompson.
Please don't cancel us. You said what's his name told you. You said Riker told you.
Yeah, it's Thompson. You're just not listening to us. So Lloyd gave us an update in the chat. Lloyd's got Nicole first, Rachel Waters second, and then we're looking at Chrissy in third place.
All right, give me your proper name again.
Kevin Thompson.
It's Kevin Thompson, guys.
Kevin Thompson
If you
for
want to give
third.
us a little rolling scroll on first, second, and third now, while I get these guys ready to do a photo.
Over there.
Okay.
Do you have your phone? Can you take a quick photo of these three? No, don't mess with this. Don't mess with this.
Is there a chance we can get a finish line cam going or something on the final rig so we can see this last battle?
Hey, let's get a picture of you three real quick.
See, so I think we just have
Super
Sam
close.
out
You
on
wanna be
course, and then we got Matt
You're up.
at the finish.
Sideways. No, sideways.
Tell
There you
Matt to
go.
turn
You like that?
sideways and film the
Yeah.
finish.
Hey, Maddie,
Yes, sir.
do you have anybody else coming into the finish line?
We do not. As I said, Ken was limping in the woods, and then there was another gentleman who was turned around. That guy isn't in the top 5, so I don't even know who's in 4th or 5th at this point. Maybe it's your boy Caleb, Brakken.
Last time we saw him, he was stuck on a rig, but I think Carl might be up there in the top 5.
Carl Fallish from the Discord.
Carl Fallish from the Running Public, you might mean.
Brakken, I feel like if we're going to do some crossover stuff, you got to get in the Discord, man.
I'm not entirely sure what that means. If we're being honest here.
Oh, that's amazing. Josh can explain it to you later.
Like, I understand the word Discord, but I don't know what that means.
Brakken, I'll put it to you this way, Brakken. Remember the early days of OCR, and we'd have a lot of great chats on Facebook before Facebook became a cesspool?
Spartan 300 you're talking about?
The Spartan 300, exactly. The original Spartan 300 with like Earl and you and me, and right back then, just some good discourse. That's what it is now. It's much. There's no political nonsense. There's no, craziness. It's just good conversation.
So you want me to get in a giant group chat with hundreds of people?
Pretty much. That's what he's saying.
Only you can observe, you can chat. It's just it's fun, but you don't have to. But
just to boost your ego a little bit, Brakken, you have some furious Running Public fans in there as well. So
oh yeah, big time.
Nice. So just to be clear, you knowing me with my communication and getting back to me style, you think I need more apps and communication in my life?
Well, as I said it, I realized who I was talking to. So maybe Kirk can be the official.
Listen, I'm 33 going on 70. I'm a curmudgeon.
Yeah, Kirk seems like he has a lot more time on his hands.
Why can't we see Kirk at a Savage race?
Kirk's racing somewhere else this weekend.
Yes, he is.
He's actually should be kicking off right about now, right?
Guys, this is one of the bigger gaps I've ever seen in racing. I have no idea where 4th place is.
So I wonder if moving forward, not to get ahead of ourselves, if they're going to have a female lane with smaller gaps for the leap to the rope and the lâché at the end.
So that's what they did last week or 2 weeks ago, right?
That'd be great too.
So I'm going to mute Matt for a second. That's what they did 2 weeks ago. They had and they specifically did the difference in female lanes because they thought that gap between just reaching from the rope to the next obstacle would be in play. And we heard feedback that they wanted, synchronicity between the two, but
from who? I wonder if it was any of the women.
Facebook, Brakken, from Facebook.
From Facebook. Well, Facebook, you are now defeated. I mean, the two women who made it through, Rachel and Chrissy, are obviously on board with synchronicity. The other women are having a frustrating moment right now.
Yeah. All right, so let's.
But I mean, that shouldn't take anything away from these two. It's not that they won because other people had a rough day. They won because they took advantage of a really, really difficult obstacle.
Yeah, and it's, when you think about this obstacle in normal weather, dry, without an issue, right? I think all these women are going to get through it without any issue. And then you just add in the unpredictability of our sport because it's outdoors, right? That's right. That's how you're going to see it.
This comes back to our off-camera conversation about what are you capable of before a race.
Right.
Yeah, and we said that in this kind of sport, especially in a shorter race like this, one thing goes wrong and the entire results get shaken up.
Yep. Sam, was that Chrissy telling us she was in second place or unsure?
Chrissy was asking me how far ahead second place was.
Gotcha.
But I was unsure. For about the last 30 seconds, we were looking up a rule clarification, and but we're good. We're all good to go. Chrissy is definitely in third place right now.
Okay. And that was so she was through back scratcher, and then a bit of running in the woods. So.
Well, now I want to know what this rule clarification you're looking up is.
So, we previously had published that for the women, all they had to do on Yank My Chain was pull the chain up off of the ground. And we had internal conversations that we were going to have the women pull the chain all the way to the top, but that rule was never published or released. So I got a little confused when I saw Chrissy only pick it up just above the ground. but we just, I didn't give her any advice because I didn't want to tell her the wrong thing. We just verified that, in fact, she is following the most recent set of rules that has been published to the participants. So bit of relief for me, but also good for Chrissy. So thankfully, she's in good shape there.
Well, thanks for the explanation.
Sam, do you think we'll ever get to a point where we go one weekend at an obstacle race without having to clarify rules?
Well, look, guys, here's the thing. When we're constantly releasing new obstacles, you know, and it makes it harder. Like if we
Here
just
comes fourth,
stuck with a
here comes
standard
fourth,
set of
ladies and gentlemen.
obstacles and never change them, then it would be very easy to kind of maintain this standard set of rules. But we're constantly iterating, and that's the thing. It's like it's kind of the trade-off you have there is that, you know, sometimes obstacles are fairly new and we have to make rule adjustments.
Yeah, and a lot of these rule adjustments just
Does that
come
make
from
sense?
athletes uniquely
Here
trying to
comes-
complete these obstacles in any way they can. So
Here comes fourth place with the All-American shorts.
Look at
this
Carl.
handsome devil. Your fourth place, rocking some VJ Extremes, my favorites.
That's his highest finish he's ever had.
What's his name?
Carl Fallish.
Carl Fallish from the Discord? I didn't even know that was you, buddy. What do you want to say? You're worldwide. What do you want to say?
Great race. The hills on the back half are gnarly. They found those this year. It's pretty terrible. But
pretty terrible.
lots of grip obstacles. The rig was fun. Looking forward to doing another lap.
Oh, if he doesn't
What
shout
time
out
you
his
want to
coach,
go? I'll
he's
go with
cut.
you.
So we got Nicole through Wheel World. She's only got Battering Bird and then the big cargo net to the finish. So, Brakken, what would you say her level of effort running is right now?
I don't know, 6, 7. It's hard to tell with someone like her because we hear a lot of times with her and Lindsay, people like, oh, she's in her comfort zone right now. But just because she's gotten really good at looking effortless doesn't necessarily mean she is. But I can't imagine she's too far in the pain cave right now.
Those are the runners that are scary too. The ones that can just maintain their form and they don't show any wear and tear, even though they're dying inside.
Yeah.
Those are the ones you look at and you're like, are you even tired right now? But
How many times do we hear that on commentations that someone's or in commentaries that, oh, she's just so comfortable, or he's right in his threshold? We have no way of telling that.
Right.
She's just fantastic at looking easy while she does what she's great at.
Well, she turned it on after that obstacle. She saw the finish line.
Sam is running like his life depends on it, trying to follow her.
That is dedication.
I'm just trying not to fall down, man.
All right. If you want to switch to me, we'll get the front view.
Got it.
Oh, actually, you're right on her. That's good.
Nicole put in a solid day of work.
Does anyone have a clock on her versus the men?
We'll know very shortly.
9:03, so under an hour for her.
Nice job, Nicole.
Nicole through the finish. Sam keeping up with her. Bravo, sir.
Nicole, we've got to talk to you about your triple reverse chicken wing that you had going on there.
Triple reverse?
Whatever.
What's swinging one way, and I swing the other way? I don't know. I got up to the obstacle, picked up the rings, and I just felt a little uneasy about it. So I put it in the first loop, whatever it is, and then decided to straight arm it to the first one. And then once I got it, I just decided to change my game plan. And I went a safe way, but I mean, it worked out. It was fun. I kind of got to I would let go, and I would look back to grab it. So that's my dad.
You want to say hi to your dad?
Yeah.
Congratulations.
That's what it's all about, folks.
Say that again.
The change.
What about it?
So I think I did it wrong. Like I did.
No, you're good now.
Yeah, you got the thumbs up now. You're good.
You're good. Brakken, do you have any questions for Nicole?
Yeah, I have a question. You need to find out if you took top 3 for the men, because we're predicting that you were going to be top 3 men today, and we need to find out now.
All right, say that again.
Nicole, we got to find out your final time.
All right, he's trying to ask you if we think you're top 3 for the men. Well, just go check Athlinks in like 30 seconds, guys.
You would know more than me.
Check Athlinks in about 30 seconds, or not Athlinks, but Savage results. They pop up on Run Sign Up. You'll know those very
See,
soon.
Matt, I thought that she would have come in and had her time running and was all about that. I guess I'm wrong. She has her sights set on bigger things.
Clearly.
Yeah, she doesn't care.
She should. I think that she should get a men's podium check for anyone she beats.
I like this. I like these theories you have.
You think that Savage would ever let her start with the men?
I mean, they'd be more likely to do it, I think, than Spartan, but you'd have to talk to Savage about it.
All right, so I've got the update. So Ryan Kempson finished in 48.46, Jared Flank in 50.52, Kevin Thompson in 52.58. Nicole Miracle finished at 58 minutes, so only a couple minutes behind. But
are you sure? Are you sure they didn't start her at the right time?
They started her 5 minutes back, but this is her chip time that it says on the website. Right. So
it looks like I see Meg over there. Can you see what I see?
We can now. What are you looking at?
That's Meg. That's Meg Julian. Insanity. Yeah.
Okay.
Hey guys, we're trying to find where the second place female is right now.
Well, is somebody Meg Julian
just through the woods here in a few minutes?
Okay, is Meg in third then? Is Meg Julian in third? She's coming up to.
I think we had Chrissy in third. So Meg may be in fourth, if I had to guess.
My understanding is Rachel Waters is in second and Chrissy is in third.
So they're running through. They've got, after like Twin Peaks and Back Scratcher, they've got probably a mile and a half where they're out in the woods. So I'm assuming they'll be coming out of the woods pretty soon here.
Yes, and it's quite a long lumberjack lane. I don't know how long it is, but it's they're going to be down there for several minutes at least, carrying the log through the woods up and down the hills.
And that portion of the course is so steep and technical.
How's it going?
What's your name?
Trevor. Trevor Hiltz.
Good job, buddy.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Are you fourth or fifth?
So there's Rachel.
Are you in second right now?
Right there.
No, I think no. First,
all right, we
second,
think that
third.
Rachel's in second place.
No, that guy didn't count.
So we got Rachel in second place, and then that means Chrissy in third, and then Meg Julian pushing possibly in fourth.
Right. Okay.
Now, usually,
yes, we're confirmed that Rachel Waters is now in second place.
Usually, this heavy carry here doesn't do a whole lot because it's just not that heavy, but it's so long that going through technical terrain like that with a lot of branches, it's actually going to get in the way today.
Plus, like just keeping your arm over your head, holding that thing up, right? You don't think you're exerting that much effort, but go ahead and just leave your arms above your head for 5 minutes and then try and do a hanging obstacle afterwards, right? It's one of those, they're not going to murder you with the heaviest weight, but it's sneakily difficult.
Right. Like try carrying a 2x4x6 through your house without banging into the door frame in the wall. And that's what this entire thing is.
Yeah. Look at the woods here, right? It's not, you're not getting a ton of clear paths. Maddie, what would you say? How many people you got coming through the finish line in total there?
Well, this is Justin. Justin just came through. We think 6. So 1, 2, 3. Carl's fourth. What's your name?
Trevor Hiltz.
Trevor Hiltz is 5th. So are you 6th? I keep doing this.
TBD.
TBD.
Matthew.
You're 6, so you're 7.
Yeah, you're 7th place, dude. Have you ever finished top 10 before?
Once.
Yeah? Tell everybody who you are.
Justin Williams.
Good job. Listen, let me ask you a question, my man. Nice job. Tell everybody your name.
Brian Neely.
Brian Neely. We saw you struggling on the Anchors Away there. What happened?
This is my very first Savage race.
Oh, wow. Well, great job, dude.
I quickly went from trying to, I wanted to stay as close to Ryan Kempson as I could. I knew I wasn't going to beat him, but I tried to learn. I got to Anchors Away, and I quickly realized, just finished.
Nice job, man.
It took me like 15 tries.
And I saw you.
I
saw you. Good
That's
job.
what Savage is about.
We don't know.
So we got Chrissy McFarland.
About 2.5
coming
minutes
to,
behind.
Yeah.
So, Josh, is there anything failable after this obstacle, or is this kind of the finished result here?
Well, I mean, you got Battering Bird in there, which obviously can be very difficult. You got Wheel World in there, which I don't think these girls in this position are going to have too much of a trouble with.
Battering Bird, though, that'll do it, potentially.
Yeah, Battering Bird is definitely difficult.
Although, again, you're looking at the two women who made it through the last obstacle that, with the Savage rig. So odds are they're going to be fine on that.
And we don't have a camera on the rig at the moment, but if you had to guess, is Alex Walker the kind of person that would give up a
This guy's going to take off.
Or will she sit at that rig all day if she had to?
Some interviews and stuff, but
I mean, it's hard to predict if she gets super cold at some point. But other than that, she'll be there for hours, I would guess.
Yeah.
Guys, I saw Alex Walker a few minutes ago. I didn't check to see if she had her band on, so she's no longer at the rig.
Okay. Well, maybe just should have done that before you asked me my opinion that I was wrong about.
I know, right? That's fine. She's all about proving us wrong. I love it.
Yeah, hopefully she made it through.
you made top 10, buddy. Nice job.
Hey, Maddie, what's the chance you want to head out to Wheel World to catch the girls?
Well, I think they're women, not girls, but I guess I could if there's nothing else going on.
Sam's jumping on.
Josh, I'm heading there now.
All right, perfect. All right, Matt, you can stay there.
I'm heading out there now.
Matt is politically correct.
Yeah, we all know Matt.
I gotta say, it's just that's a sticking one for me. When they do that at the Spartan race, they always say the girls. I'm like, my daughter's 13. She's a girl. These are women or ladies. That's what I prefer.
I stand corrected, my friend.
It's not about being woke or anything. It's just I don't know. I don't know. It's like we don't say boys. Here come the boys. Maybe we do. I don't know. Ignore everything I say.
The boys were out in force today.
All right, Rachel Waters in second place is approaching Wheel World.
All right, so we're closing in on the last couple of obstacles for the remaining podium spots for the women.
So Wheel World into that bird nest, or do we hit bird first?
We got Wheel World first, into Battering Bird, into the cargo net. Probably about 200 meters from the finish is Wheel World.
So is that Matt's guy right there?
I believe that's Matt's buddy, yeah. The flowing locks. Yeah, any
right.
Sam, have you heard any update on Ken at all?
So that was Krista Koof.
I have not. I've been focused on the women. We have Rachel Waters, who is solidly in second place. Chrissy's probably 2.5 minutes behind her. And I don't think she's going to have any trouble with this obstacle that is Wheel.
Hey, gentlemen, I got an update on Leon when you got a second.
Yeah, we're frozen up now on our screen, so do it.
So we have Sam's bad camera again, I can tell. Sam's
we're good now.
Glitchy camera. Nice job. So it looks like a knee issue. Kempson just went over there to Sam to talk to him, and it's not great, obviously, for him to drop out of the race, but it's definitely a knee issue.
Yeah, that's what you don't want to hear.
Well, obviously you never want to have any kind of thing, but certainly for, young man travels over here to do some races and just kind of a bummer.
Yeah. Oh, well, my heart goes out for that guy. Knee issues are no bueno. Ankles can heal quick. Knees can cause some problems.
So Rachel Waters, the seasoned Savage vet.
She's powered right through that
without too much issue there. The fist pump.
This is going to be, I believe, her best Savage finish. I believe I think she's gotten third here a couple times.
She earned it today.
Well.
Do you have a counter to that, Matt?
That she earned it?
Yeah.
I don't know what you want me to say. She's awesome.
Oh, you said, well, I thought you were going to counter it.
No. I'm sorry. I'm like thinking out loud. I'm sorry. We're good. Her twin sister is here rooting her on.
Is she a racer?
That's her twin sister. She's an ultra runner. Her sister, Rebecca Waters. You can look her up.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I got really confused when I saw her with like a backpack on the sideline earlier because she looks exactly the same.
After she comes through, we'll do some interviews, guys.
Well, we've got the
Nice
third
job,
place girl
Rachel.
only about 2.5 minutes behind her. So we got Rachel Waters in second.
Look at that. This is why Nicole's beloved in the sport. She was done 10 minutes ago. She's still waiting at the line for each female to come across here.
Oh, yeah.
Nice job. You guys want to switch to Matt here?
Yep.
No, let her catch your breath. Let her catch your breath.
We're just switching
Okay, I'm
to your
going to go
camera.
find Chrissy.
Sam's going to head back.
Matt, I really appreciate that. There's nothing worse than a camera in your face the moment you cross the finish line, so good job.
You're welcome.
Matt is big on staying away until they catch their breath,
Yeah. It's so hard to be coherent.
except for the ORM cam that's right there interviewing.
That's Jeff Maria. He's making his own video today. Don't blame me.
I know.
Dude, have you ever finished second here before?
In Charlotte, that first rig. Remember the last Charlotte in December? Tiffany won.
So this is your first
Yeah.
second in Georgia?
Yeah.
This is your best Georgia finish?
Yeah. I'm between the fourth place.
Yeah. All right, guys. Chrissy is on Wheel World.
Getting that bell in that race felt good.
Yeah, I was like, you were doing so smoothly.
I didn't have a choice.
So we got Chrissy in third through Wheel World, coming up to Battering Bird, which is the last obstacle before, well, technically the cargo net, which is the last obstacle, but after that, it's the finish line. Always taking a few seconds, each athlete, for this one. This is one of those obstacles you don't want to take for granted.
It's too bad this feed's freezing. I was interested to see her technique.
All guts and skill. Also, can we just talk about Sam? Just sprinting to the finish over and over again, putting in work, man.
This
Might
turned
run
into
pro
a
next time.
brutally tough course today. This is a well-deserved third place here.
Nice job, Chrissy.
Chrissy McFarland coming through third place. Oh my goodness.
Crossing finish lines and kissing babies.
Look at you! Look at that face! Look at that face! Oh my goodness.
He looks so happy to be there.
This baby's name is Chace.
Chace was born with that 1,000-yard stare.
Yeah, right?
I can't bring Acres away. I got stuck there forever.
Do you,
Yeah.
do you want to talk about it for a minute? Talk about Acres Away?
It's just very slippery.
Let's get away from this loud thing. Go ahead.
It was very slippery. I underestimated the grip. I went into it thinking it was one of the easier obstacles.
Rachel, he's going to take
Totally
my
wrong.
phone of you. Okay.
It was muddy, like real slippery mud. But yeah, I think I went in at third, and I got passed by at least 5 women. And then I got back to third on the rig. So pretty pumped. First
Maddie,
baby.
Maddie, ask her how many women were at the rig at the same time with her.
Do you know how many women were at the rig at the same time with you? She said she caught 5 women. Did you hear that?
Yeah.
I know Brenna, Alex, maybe Meg.
Meg Julian.
Maybe
Yep.
her. And then I don't know who else.
Let's get a picture of the top 3 women. Guys, I'll be back in a second, okay?
Okay.
Hey, can we get a quick photo? Rachel, quick photo. Whoa! Rachel, quick photo of the top 3 women.
So for the final here, we got
Whoa!
Kempson in first for the men.
Nice job, Miguel. Oh,
We
you
got
want to go right here?
Jared Flank second. Kevin Thompson in third for the women.
First place. We'll get first place there first.
We got Nicole Miracle, Rachel Waters, Chrissy McFarland. I'll tell you, after that rig, it was anybody's game, Brakken. That was one of those things where you're running aside. That's going to separate the course and the participants. So
Yeah, it turned out that the race started at the rig today. And yesterday we thought it was a cool rig, possibly tricky, but when it was overcast this morning and that dew did not burn off, and suddenly that lâcher point looked a little bit longer when you got up to it with your heart rate high, that was a game changer. And we saw some very good athletes get hung up there today.
yeah, that's, when it comes to Savage, right? That's you're not escaping anything. You either get through those obstacles or you give up the band. There are no penalty alternatives. It's everything you can do right there. Maddie.
Hey, man, I think we're ready to wrap it up here with the top 3 coming in. I hope everybody enjoyed. I assume there's a bunch of stuff coming in comments-wise.
There's a lot of stuff coming in comments. To be honest, there's just a lot going on, so it's tough to keep up with them, but they're all there. Lots of viewers today.
Well, listen, I'm going to go ahead and cut out from here, and then you guys want to wrap it up and call it a day. But thank you, everybody, for watching. Spread this link around. Tell a friend. And see you next time.
Way to go, Maddie. All right, Brakken, final thoughts for the day.
Wow, I mean, a bit of what we expected and a lot of what we did not. There were some names up there that were on the watch list, but not on the guaranteed podium list. And we had an injury. We had some people get hung up on obstacles. It was a good reminder that nothing is guaranteed in obstacle course racing.
Yeah, and I think the big news, right? We're on to Savage's second race of the year. We got a whole lot of – it's actually a busy day in obstacle course racing. We got some other events all throughout the country, and we're not slowing down at this point. So good to have everybody back in the sport. Good to see people racing. Good to get some podiums in front of everybody. And Brakken, where are we going to catch you on course? I know you're recovering from a little bit of a calf thing right now.
Yeah, I begin running tomorrow. Tomorrow's 4 weeks from the tear, so I get to start jogging a little bit. I think June you'll see me.
If anybody out there is fighting through an injury and says, I can just gut it out and go run today, even if I feel bad, Brakken, the consummate professional, takes it as slow as you possibly can to recover. So if you need anybody to follow after, go listen to the podcast and he'll tell you.
It only took 4 years. Only took 4 years to learn that.
Yeah, well, you usually have to learn it the hard way, unfortunately, right, for it to really change your mind.
So learning the hard way, I think that's my final takeaway here. If you are a racer who watched this race, you almost have to go start doing grip work with wet hands and start working on some lâcher. I know I never lâcher in training. We talk lâcher, it's swinging and releasing from one bar and trying to hit or grab something else. And if you don't have the skill to do that with wet hands, today showed that you might be in trouble in the future. So thank you for everyone on the course who put in the hard knocks for us so that we can go not have that happen to us.
Yeah, and if you're looking at a Savage race this year, next year, if there's anything we know about Savage, they're going to turn up the difficulty and turn up the challenge levels every time they can. Because if they put a rig together like this and they get people that are starting to complete it without issue, you can be sure that they're going to up the difficulty level on the next one. So
yeah, and you're going to see something like that at OCR Worlds or NORAM this year because they take everything that was tough and they put it all on one day. So if it was tough today, it's going to be harder in October.
Excellent. Well, that's it, my friend, for myself, for Matt B. Davis. Brakken, thanks for tuning in. Thanks, everybody, for watching, and we'll catch you at the next Savage race.
See you out there, ladies and gents.